And we are set for baseball here at Coolray Field in Lawrenceville. Second homestand of the year in progress. Stripers off to an 0-1 start on the series so far. 6-game set against the Memphis Redbirds, AAA affiliate of the St. Louis Cardinals. It is the first Wet Nose Wednesday of the year, sponsored by Salen's. Dogs free with a paid owner out on the bank tonight. Looks like a few canines and those owners are out on that grass behind the right field and right center field fence. And we'll get a chance to watch Domingo Robles make his first home start in a Stripers uniform. Just his second AAA start, the 24-year-old from the Dominican Republic. 6'2", 170 pounds is Robles. He is our Pontoon Brewing starting pitcher. The pontoon lifestyle is the idea of escaping all the daily stresses and relaxing on a pontoon boat with a cold one in hand. Shades on, bottoms up. That's Pontoon Brewing Company. Robles looked pretty good that first start on the road against the Norfolk Tides. He did take the loss, but gave up just a run on 7 hits over 4 innings, did not walk a batter, and struck out 7, but was outdueled by Ryan Watson in a game the Stripers went on to lose 3-0. We'll see if the bats can back him tonight. That's been a tough situation so far for the Stripers. Their 5-game losing streak, just 3 extra base hits in that stretch, all doubles. They haven't homered since April 4th. We'll see if all that turns around tonight. A lineup that Robles will face for the Memphis Redbirds. It's Kramer Robertson, Mason Wynn, Ivan Herrera in the 1-2-3, Paul DeYoung, Moises Gomez, Lucan Baker in the 4-5 and 6, Oscar Mercado, Uniel Karakudo, and Chase Pinder in the 7-8 and 9 spots. Stripers back in the pinstripe uniforms, letters and numbers in navy trimmed in the bass green. And the Redbirds go to their all-gray road uniforms here this evening. The neon-esque letters and numbers in red and gold. And from the right side is Kramer Robertson. He'll crouch down. First pitch on the way from the lefty. Robles is down and away for ball 1. And we are underway at 7:07 p.m. here in the Eastern Time Zone. 76 degrees, sunny skies overhead, lights are on. Shadows creeping across the outfield. Here comes the 1-0 from Robles. And just a bit high for a count of 2 balls, no strikes to Robertson. Kramer Robertson batting .216 with a home run, 6 RBIs, and a .665 OPS. He'll take one again high. And the count 3 balls, no strikes. Robertson with that crouch stance can really minimize that strike zone, listed at 5'10". And the 3-0 from Robles finally catches the outer third for a called strike, 3-1. Into the motion, the kick and the pitch from Robles. And he's got back-to-back strikes. Fastball on the edge. And the count 3 balls, 2 strikes. So the 28-year-old Kramer Robertson from Plano, Texas, product of LSU. Cardinals' 4th-round pick back in 2017. 3-2 pitch. Way outside, it's ball 4, and Robertson starts the ball game with a walk much like he did yesterday. Walked to lead off yesterday morning's game and came around to score in the first inning. This is the 5th home game for the Stripers so far this year. All the other 4 games have seen the opponent score in the first. So it would be a big step forward if they could not allow a run here in this first inning tonight. Here's Mason Wynn. First pitch to him, a called strike. 21-year-old Mason Wynn from Katy, Texas. He's ranked the Cardinals' number 2 prospect by MLB.com. Number 45 on the top 100 prospects list. And coming off a 2 RBI effort yesterday as he takes down and away for a count of 1-1. Runner at first is Robertson. He does not have a stolen base on the year, but does have very good speed. He'll be chased back to first. The toss coming from Robles sent him back to the bag. The count 1 ball, 1 strike on Wynn. Hitting .184 to start the year. 3 RBIs, again 2 yesterday. He's got 4 steals. Pitch on the way is tapped to the right side. Charging is Fuentes. He's handcuffed by it. He's got a race to the bag at first. Not going to get him. Well, that ball rolled up the first baseman of Joshua Fuentes. Looked like it was up by his wrist when he finally secured it. He was thinking about going down to second to get the force play on Robertson, and by the time he realized he wasn't going to be able to make a throw that way, tried to win a foot race to first, but he was late. And Mason Wynn is safe. And they'll call that a base hit. So Wynn will get an infield single on that bouncer up the first baseline, and there's 2 on with nobody out for Ivan Herrera. And a fastball high. 1 ball, no strikes to count to Herrera. The catcher batting third today, moving up 1 spot. Hitting .200 with a home run, 6 RBIs, and a .661 OPS is Herrera. Robles, the 1-0, missing inside, and the count 2 balls, no strikes. Herrera, all of 22 years of age, from Panama City, Panama. Letter high set for Robles. Here's the 2-0, and it's fouled straight back behind the plate. And the count 2 balls, 1 strike. We'll get you that Stripers defense here momentarily. Right now, Braden Shoemake playing close to the bag at second. And shaded a few steps to his right is the shortstop, Vaughn Grissom. 2-1, sails outside. And it's a hitter's count of 3-1. Robertson led off the ball game with a walk. He's at second. Mason Wynn bounced 1 to first and was given a base hit. And he's off the bag at first. 3-1 on the way home. Swinging a chopper, third base side foul right over the head of manager Ben Johnson in the third base coach's box. His 4th year leading this Memphis ball club. A .204 and .216 record. His club finished just under .500 a year ago. And time is called for by Herrera. He'll remove the helmet. We're in the top of the first, still nobody out for Domingo Robles and the Stripers. Walk and a single. And the count is full on Herrera. Here comes the payoff pitch. And it's ball 4. So Robles, who didn't walk a single batter over 4 innings in his first AAA start, has walked 2 of the first 3 faced here in this first inning. Should have at least 1 out. But instead he'll face Paul DeYoung, a veteran big leaguer and former National League All-Star who's down here on a rehab assignment. He'll be the batter, but first things first, here comes Craig Bjornson, Stripers pitching coach, to try and calm down the young left-hander. Well, we do want to welcome those of you watching on the Bally Live app, the new live video broadcast home of minor league baseball. If you aren't watching on Bally Live, download the free app today. And you can join in the conversation. I have a trivia question coming up a little bit later on tonight that you can take part in. Let us know what you think. And right now, Robles and the Stripers looking to minimize the damage. They still do not have an out. 2 walks and a infield single have loaded the bases for the Redbirds. And DeYoung, who is working his way back from a back injury, steps into the box. 0 for 4 yesterday with 3 strikeouts. Letter high set for Robles. He'll turn loose the first pitch, and it curls across for a called strike. Robles, 2-seam and 4-seam fastballs. He's also got a slider, curveball, and changeup. Used that slider about 45% of the time in his first start. And now the 0-1. Fastball strike. Quickly 0-2. Now the veteran DeYoung, 29 years of age, from Orlando, Florida. 617 career Major League games, all with the Cardinals, going back to 2017. 0-2 pitch. Right there. And not called. And Joe Hudson has to pop out of the crouch and kick at the dirt behind the plate. They thought they had strike 3, but Ben Sontag does not agree. And it's a 1-2 count for DeYoung. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Went to the back foot breaking ball to sit down DeYoung. Exposed a big hole in that swing and got his first out of the inning. And with that, let's take a look at the Stripers' defense surrounding Domingo Robles tonight. It is Charlie Culberson at third base, Vaughn Grissom at shortstop, Braden Shoemake over at second. First baseman is Joshua Fuentes. Outfield of Forrest Wall in left, Justin Dean in center. Magneri Sierra starts in right field tonight. And it's Joe Hudson doing the catching for Domingo Robles, who has 1 out. And the base is loaded. Moises Gomez takes a cut, fouls it into the mitt for strike one. Gomez, last year's minor league baseball home run leader with 39 to set a Cardinals minor league single-season record, but also 174 strikeouts across two levels. Robles, the 0-1, that's hammered in the air to left field, shading his face with his glove is Wall. He'll come in to make the catch, and he'll gun the throw into third base, but able to tag and score is Kramer Robertson. That's a sac fly for Moises Gomez. And for the fifth straight Stripers home game, the visiting team scores in the top of the first. Gomez with his third RBI of the year, just missed a home run, as Wall was able to battle that sun with the glove and make the catch. So Gomez drives in a run, 1-0 for the Redbirds. Here's Luken Baker, now two gone with runners at first and second. Swing and a miss, laid on the fastball, strike one. A lot of power in the middle of this order for the Redbirds when you look at Gomez and also Luken Baker. It's tied for seventh in the league with 3 homers. And this ball rattles away to the left of Hudson. That'll move the runners up. Down to third base goes Wynn. Into second goes Herrera on what will be called a wild pitch on Domingo Robles. So both runners now in scoring position as the count on Baker is 1-1. Luken Baker, 6'4", 280. Don't see too many baseball players that are within 20 pounds of 300. Glove tucked tight to the upper body of Robles. He has the sign from Hudson, who puts up the target. A look to second, and the 1-1. Sinks down below the zone. The count 2 balls, 1 strike. Baker, 26 years of age, from Houston, Texas, the second-round pick of the Cardinals in 2018 out of TCU. He was a member of this Redbirds club all of last year. Checks the swing. It's a strike, even at 2-2. Last year had 21 homers, but also struck out 129 times over the course of 124 games. Runners off of second and third, 2-2 the count. The pitch on the way is pulled foul behind the manager, Ben Johnson. He's had to evade a couple of bullets hit his way in this inning. And it is 2-2 still. 26 pitches so far in this first inning for Domingo Robles. Through 83 pitches, 56 strikes in his debut outing. And here comes the 2-2. That goes to the backstop, and it's right to Hudson. And he can throw down to first because it's a strikeout. Coming to the plate was Mason Wynn, but all he had to do was throw down to first base because it was ruled that Baker offered at it. So it was a drop third strike that went to the backstop, came right back off the pads to Hudson, who threw down to first to complete the strikeout. And in the inning, only 1 run in that first inning. Could have been much worse. Redbirds 1, Stripers nothing, as Gwinnett comes to the plate in the bottom half of the first here on MyCountry993.com. A reoccurring theme for the Stripers here in 2023. They trail after the top of the first here at home, but down only 1-0 to the Memphis Redbirds as they come to the plate for the first time against very talented left-hander Matthew Liberatore, a Cardinals number 6 ranked prospect. According to MLB.com, first pitch to a left-handed batting Forrest Wall is strike 1. And we have seen a lot of Liberatore. Saw him at age 21 2 years ago. Saw him at 22 last year. And he's hoping that 2023 is going to be his breakout campaign as he misses low and away to Wall. 1 ball, 1 strike. Forrest Wall batting .154, no homers, 3 RBIs. Leads the team in steals with 4. Liberatore's 1-1. And a breaking ball just missing. 2 balls, 1 strike. Looks like the strike zone of Ben Sontag's going to be tight tonight. Slightly choked up on the bat is Wall, waiting on a 2-1 pitch. The wind and the delivery. Knee-high strike, 2-2. Stripers face Liberatore in 2021 and 2022 as mentioned. He'll twist and deal the 2-2. That is down low to Wall. 3 balls, 2 strikes. They posted good numbers against him. 3 games, 2 starts in 2021. Gwinnett handed him a 1-1 record and a 5.09 ERA. Wall takes down and away. Leadoff walk for Gwinnett. And the speedster aboard at first. And bring up Vaughn Grissom. Last year's Gwinnett Ball Club saw Liberatore for 3 different starts. Went 1-2. He went 1-2, I should say. Stripers were 2-1. And he had a 5.11 ERA. So they put some runs on the board against this man in the past couple of seasons, but it's a different-looking ball club this year, including this man, Vaughn Grissom, who swings at the first pitch, fouls it back to the backstop screen for strike 1. Grissom has been Gwinnett's best hitter around the year, hitting .351, 1 home run, 4 RBIs, 1.037 the OPS. Crouched right-handed stance, pitch from Liberatore. Check swing, fastball high. Did he go? Yes, he did upon appeal to first base. That's Tanner Dobson making the call. And it is 0-2. Grissom saw his 8-game hit streak snapped in yesterday's game and also struck out for the first time at AAA ball. And 39 plate appearances without a strikeout. Wall takes off, swung on, popped up down the line and right. Baker going to give chase into foul ground. This is off the netting. And another chance for Grissom. But yeah, Grissom had not struck out in any of his first 39 plate appearances for the Stripers, and then yesterday struck out 3 times as he finished 0 for 4. He's behind here 0-2. Inching away from first is Wall. He's already taking off on the last pitch. He will hold here, and the curveball is fought off, foul behind the plate. A lot of different pitches to prepare for from Liberatore. 4-seam fastball, curveball, sinker, slider, changeup. Although the last time he threw back on the 6th of April, it was 42% fastball. Mixes the slider and curveball near equal. And he'll lob one over to first base. Back on the bag standing is Wall. Stripers down 1-0, batting here in the bottom of the first. Leadoff walk for Wall. 0-2 the count on Grissom. Liberatore's 0-2 is fisted to the right side. Baker backing up, caught it in the midsection. He'll walk it to first for the out. And down to second goes Wall. So Grissom, who we have seen go the opposite way with frequency here this year, slapped that 0-2 pitch to the right side, and Baker caught it in an awkward spot. He was able to make the play. 3 unassisted, and again, Wall now at second base. Here's Braden Shoemake. Shoemake drove in the only Gwinnett run yesterday with an RBI double and has tallied a team-high 8 RBIs. And a curveball spins right into the dirt. The count 1-0 on Shoemake. Shoemake and Liberatore have some history from last year. Shoemake's first AAA home run came off Matthew Liberatore. That was in Memphis in the opening road trip of the year. And he floats one down and away. The count 2 balls, no strikes. I would imagine Liberatore's thinking about that, and I know Shoemake's thinking about it, as he was able to pull a hanging slider out to right center at AutoZone Park last April. 2-0. Outside again, 3 balls, no strikes. Shoemake's average at .206. He's got 1 homer. That was the walk-off on opening night back on March 31st. 2 for another. Here's the 3-0. Taking all the way, and it's not close. Down and away, ball 4. Second walk of the inning. And 2 on with 1 out for Yolmer Sanchez, who will bat right-handed. Sanchez in the cleanup spot. Maybe not where he profiles as a hitter, but right now he's one of the more veteran bats on this ball club. And now you can be sure is going to make contact. And drawing that nod in the cleanup spot from Matt Tuiasosopo. So 2 on with 1 out. Stripers down by 1. Runners will take off. Here's a throw down to third. Feet first slide, and not in time. Just able to beat the tag of Kramer Robertson with a white cleated foot in there. is Forrest Wall. That's his team leading 5th steal. And Braden Shoemake also nabs 2nd on the double steal. And again, when you're not scoring runs consistently, got to use your speed to your advantage when you get runners on base. So both in scoring position now. Corners of the infield will come in a few steps. Robertson shielding the sun at 3rd. Here's the 1-0, and that's hit high in the air to deep left. Back goes Gomez onto the warning track. Just shy of the wall, he's got room. He'll make the catch. Wall tags from 3rd, he'll score. And scampering into 3rd is Shoemake. Stripers tie it up. On the sac fly by Yolmer Sanchez, nearly powering that one out to left field for his first homer of the year. The deep recesses of Coolray Field managed to hold it in as Moises Gomez, a couple of steps from the wall, makes the catch. It's a 1-1 game here in the first. That sounded good off the bat. And he might have just been a little bit underneath it. Though in Charlotte, that's about 50 feet over the fence. So now a runner at 3rd, that's Shoemake with 2 outs as the first pitch bends inside for ball 1 to Joshua Fuentes. The Stripers would love to get Fuentes' bat going in the middle. Hitting 167, no homers, 1 RBI. 90 feet away is Shoemake. Here's the 1-0. And that's a strike right across the knees. It's a 1-1 count for Fuentes. 30-year-old from Rancho San Margarita, California. Facing off against the lefty Matthew Liberatore. 1-1. Swing and a miss, and the count 1 ball, 2 strikes. Stripers have given Liberatore his first earned run of the year. And Fuentes trying to make it 2 here in this first inning. Wiggling the fingers on the bat. Here's the 1-2. It's fought off, foul behind the plate, reaching out to spoil a breaking ball away. And it is still 1-2 for Fuentes. Fuentes had 3 homers for the Braves this spring. Liberatore's 1-2, swing and a miss, strike 3, and that ends the inning. Here's that big breaking ball from Liberatore. And he uses it to strand Braden Shoemake at 3rd, but the Stripers draw even on the sac fly from Yolmer Sanchez. It's a 1-1 game as we go to the top of the 2nd. Stripers baseball on mycountry993.com. Dave Lazat back with you from Coolray Field here in Lawrenceville, Georgia. We move to the top of the 2nd, and we've got a bit of a delay on the field right now. The Stripers and the Redbirds tied at 1. Looks like there's some sort of an issue on the landing zone on the mound. And Domingo Robles right now standing alongside Joe Hudson on the back of the hill with 2 of the umpires. As the Stripers grounds crew will go to work here and try and clean up that landing spot. So Domingo Robles channeling Jose Alvarado, the reliever for the Phillies that always had to have the mound repaired every time he pitched in relief. I'll fix that spot up, and eventually we'll get back to the action here. And so far, we've seen a run from both sides in this game. Memphis scratching out 1 against Robles in the first. Kramer Robertson with a leadoff walk came around 4 batters later to score on a sacrifice fly by Moises Gomez. And nearly the same exact scenario for the Stripers in the home half as Forrest Wall led off with a walk. Double steal with him and Braden Shoemake, who also walked, putting runners at 2nd and 3rd. And Yolmer Sanchez with a sac fly to left to bring in Wall. And so that's how we are tied at 1, and Robles still has to start his warm-up tosses as the grounds crew finishes up, or at least looks to be finishing up what they're doing. Well, the Braves are in action right now. They continue the series against the Cincinnati Reds at Truist Park. Reds have an early 2-0 lead in that contest. Starting pitcher for the Braves tonight is Spencer Strider, and we don't often see Strider yield runs really at any point in a start, let alone early on, but 2 runs on 3 hits over 1 inning for Strider with 1 strikeout. And the Braves coming to the plate here. So we'll keep an eye on that ball game. Braves are 8-4, Reds are 4-6. Braves have won the first 2 of that series. Won last night despite a shaky return to action for Kyle Wright. And we should be just about set here for Robles to face the bottom three of the order for the Redbirds. That'll be Orlando Mercado, Uniel Caracudo, and Chase Pinder. And while we've got a moment, we'll catch you up on the umpiring crew. Didn't get a chance to do that in the first inning with some traffic on the base paths, but Ben Sontag calling the balls and strikes tonight. Charlie Ramos at third base. The crew chief is Jacob Metz. He's at second. Tanner Dobson at first. That four-man crew as assigned by the International League. And they throw on down to second from Hudson. We're ready for baseball once again. They're not often seen, especially here at Coolray Field. Grounds delay. McLean Murphy and Kylie Corsi and their staff do a fantastic job of prepping this field every single day, but every now and again, depending on the pitcher, you might see a issue with that landing spot. And Robles was all set to go back to work before Oscar Mercado was fully into the box and attentive. So time was called. And now let's play some baseball. Here's the first pitch to Mercado. It's on the corner for a strike, 0-1. Oscar Mercado batting .154, no home runs, an RBI, 4 steals. Breaks his bat, rolls it up the first base line, foul. Big shard of that bat splitting off down the third base line as the baseball went the other way. And he'll go back to the dugout to retrieve a new piece of lumber. In the pitch clock era of minor league baseball, this is the most downtime we've ever had, I think, between the grounds delay and now the broken bat delay as Mercado dresses it in the on-deck circle and trots back to home. He'll go back up there with a count of 0-2. He's the leadoff batter here, the second for the Redbirds. Got the high striped Cardinal socks on. And just missing low is Robles. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The 1-2 is pulled on the ground to third and foul right into the waiting hands of Ben Johnson. He has been busy. And the count 1 ball, 2 strikes on Mercado. 29-year-old from Cartagena, Colombia. He's been in the big leagues with Cleveland and Philadelphia as he pokes this ball in back of first base. It is going to drop in for a base hit and might be extra bases. Fuentes gets to it, throws it to second, going to be close. Tag applied, not in time. A head first dive. And safe is Mercado. It looked like the throw was getting there about the time he was arriving at the base. It's a double for Mercado. And right back into the fire goes Robles and the Stripers here. That's been another thing that has plagued the Stripers in these home games so far. Every time something starts to swing their way, the pendulum swings back in the favor of the visiting team. As now Uniel Caracudo will square to bunt, pulls it back to take ball 1. In line with the third base bag is Charlie Culberson. And also a couple of steps in at first is Joshua Fuentes. Big lead at second for Mercado, and the pitch is fouled off the instep of Caracudo. His first appearance of the series, did not play yesterday. Saw him as a member of the Louisville Bats in the Reds organization last year. And he had .364 against the Stripers a year ago. 4 doubles, a homer, 4 RBIs. Robles looks down to second. Shoemake backpedaling now. Showing bunt again, Caracudo. He'll take high and wide, the count 2-1. Caracudo batting .267. No homers, no RBIs, 1 steal in his limited action thus far. And Robles, the 2-1, swing and a miss, falling over on that cut. And it's a 2 ball, 2 strike count for Caracudo. He's a switch hitter batting right-handed. Spinning the baseball behind his back is Robles, now set to the all-black mitt. Dancing around at second, Mercado. Here's the 2-2. And that's grounded to the right side. That will sneak through out of the reach of Shoemake. Around third. And trotting home to score is Mercado. And right back ahead go the Redbirds, 2-1. On the RBI single the opposite way for Caracudo. Good piece of two-strike hitting there, just putting it in play to the right side. Knew he had space on that side of the field with Shoemake playing close to second. Fuentes drawn in at first base after he's shown bunt a couple of times. Caracudo sent it out of the reach of Shoemake. Here's Chase Pinder down in the 9 spot. And the first pitch to Pinder splits the plate in two for a strike. 0-1 the count. To the Redbirds right fielder, Chase Pinder, batting .167 with a home run, 4 RBIs. .764 OPS. Crouched way down in the right-handed box. And he chops one over the mound. Right by second base is Shoemake. He steps on it for one, throws to first, and that's a double play. That ball was taking Shoemake to the bag. He was right near it when he fielded the baseball, stepped on second, and tossed over to first for a 4-3 double play off the bat of Chase Pinder. 2 gone. And we go to the top of the order for Kramer Robertson. Walked to start off the game, came around to score the first run of the ball game, and now checks his swing but takes a strike, 0-1. Always pesky is Robertson. We've seen that both against the Stripers and for the Stripers last year. 0-1 pitch is a fastball in tight. And it is 1-1. I remember last year when the Stripers got Kramer Robertson after the Braves claimed him off waivers. 1-1 is low, 2-1. Went from Memphis to Gwinnett, didn't even have time to get his equipment. So his first game in a Stripers uniform, he had to borrow a bat, he had to borrow a glove. Taps this one softly to the right side. Going to be a tough play for a hard-charging Shoemake, but he'll fire to first in time for the out. And that ends the top of the second. Right back ahead go the Redbirds. Leadoff double from Oscar Mercado. He scores on a single by Uniel Caracudo. And we will go to the bottom of the second. Memphis 2, Stripers 1 here on MyCountry993.com. Stripers playing from behind once again, down 2-1 now to the Memphis Redbirds. They bat at the bottom of the second. And Charlie Culberson leads it off by taking strike one from Matthew Liberatore. Stripers got a run without benefit of a hit in that first inning. Couple of walks and a sacrifice fly. As Liberatore into his motion, and the 0-1 is in the air to right. Pretty well struck going back Pinder, but now he'll stop in his tracks, reaches up head high to make the catch. And Culberson is out number 1. As Magneri Sierra comes to the plate, let's give you a look at the defense for the Redbirds. Didn't get a chance to get to it in the first, but behind Matthew Liberatore, it's Kramer Robertson at third, Mason Wynn, the shortstop, Uniel Caracudo at second, Lucan Baker at first, outfielder Moises Gomez in left, Oscar Mercado in center, Chase Pinder in right, and Ivan Herrera doing the catching for Matthew Liberatore. First pitch a strike on Sierra. Magneri Sierra just shy of 300, batting .296. 2 RBIs, 3 steals, .776 on the OPS. As the slider tails outside, the count 1-1 for Sierra. In line with the bag at third is Robertson. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss. Wild cut there by Sierra trying to pull that ball to right. And came up empty on that fastball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Fastball for Liberatore sits around 94 to 97. So he's got a live arm, especially for a left-handed pitcher. And again, he backs it up with a curveball slider combo. Also sink the baseball and also throws a changeup. So a lot to think about with Liberatore. Here's the 1-2. And on the outside corner, called strike 3. Just when you think he might go slider or curveball, looked like he ran that 4-seamer to the outer half of the plate and locked up Sierra. So 2 quick outs here in the second. Here is Joe Hudson. Liberatore kicking at the dirt landing on the front of the mound. And here is Hudson for the first time tonight. And a fastball high for ball 1. Joe Hudson hitting .154, no homers, no RBIs yet. .652 OPS because of several walks. Here's the 1-0. And that's hammered deep to left field. Going back is Gomez. Looking up. This ball is gone. Into the field house. Start your trot, Joe Hudson. His first homer in the Stripers pinstripes and the first Gwinnett home run of any kind from anyone since April 4th. And that solo shot ties the game at 2 here in the second. Good sound coming off the barrel of the bat from Joe Hudson as he hit it up onto the concourse just under the field house. And he knew it certainly as soon as he got a hold of it. So nice to see a Stripers homer. And here is Justin Dean taking ball 1. So we are right back, tied up at 2 apiece now. Liberatore misses away. The count 1 ball, 1 strike. The Stripers, the first season they faced Liberatore back in 2021, had 6 homers against him. Last year, just 2. And now this year, so far, 1. The 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss. And a 1 ball, 2 strike count. 2 outs, bases clear after the solo homer by Joe Hudson. And the pitch from Liberatore is fouled off to the right over the screen. And off the facade and back down below. 1-2 for Dean. Justin Dean's average down at 154. After a quiet road trip to Norfolk, had a pretty good start in the opening series against Jacksonville, including his first AAA homer. 1-2, check swing on the curve, and he checks in time on appeal to Tanner Dobson. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Liberatore's 2-2. Curveball called strike 3. Beautiful hammer there that dropped right in. And a couple of strikeouts for Liberatore, but the Stripers draw even for the second time tonight, this time on a solo homer by Joe Hudson. His first RBI with the Stripers comes via the long ball. We're tied at 2 as we go to the third at Stripers Baseball on mycountry993.com. The long ball makes its return to the Stripers lineup. Joe Hudson with a solo homer to tie this game at 2. We're into the top of the third now. Stripers facing the Memphis Redbirds, and Domingo Robles in bad need of a scoreless frame after giving up a run in the first and another in the second. First pitch was a strike to Mason Wynn. Second pitch, a swing and a miss, and the count is 0-2. Wynn singled as part of the run scoring in the first inning. Was left stranded at third base by Robles in that frame. The 0-2 pitch is hit sharply out of the reach of Grissom at short. That's collected in left by Wall. And he'll throw it on 1 bounce into Braden Shoemake, but another leadoff batter aboard. 3 straight innings in which the leadoff man has been on now for the Redbirds. Mason Wynn now 2 for 2. Wynn had a couple of hits yesterday. Had a slow start over the first week, but starting to come around. And he is at first with nobody out. Here is Ivan Herrera. Cardinals' number 9 ranked prospect, still only 22 years of age. And he gets hit by the first pitch. And that will put 2 on with nobody out. As Herrera hopping on 1 foot up the first base line. They may want to bring the trainer out to look at him. Looks like they will. Trainer for the Redbirds is Dan Martin in his 5th season. Like that ball caught Herrera on the foot, I believe. It's hard from our angle up here. We're sort of shielded up in the press box. But yeah, they're looking at the left foot. Or the shin, rather. Maybe the ankle. High shin. Not a spot you want to get hit by the ball. And he's going to stay in the ball game. So the first 2 reach in the third. And here's Paul DeYoung, struck out in the first inning on a nasty back foot breaking ball from Robles. First pitch to DeYoung, swing and a miss. That's the pitch he struck out on, and Robles starts him off with it here, 0-1. Stripers have turned 1 double play behind Robles here in the early going of this game. 0-1. Riding the outside corner, no. Rather, ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Look close. Off the bag at second is Wynn, away from first Herrera. And the 1-1, swing and a miss. DeYoung started his rehab assignment in Palm Beach, Class A for the Cardinals. Got transferred over here to Memphis yesterday. Still in the early stages of coming back from the back injury. Swing might be a little slow timing-wise. Here's the 1-2, and that's hammered to left field on a curveball. That's down for extra bases. Down into the corner. Wynn is in. They're going to send the hobbled Herrera around. No problems for him as he comes home to score. It's a 2-run double for Paul DeYoung. And the Redbirds right back on top, 4-2. So single hit by pitch, 2-run double. That's DeYoung's first hit of the rehab assignment. And what Domingo Robles was badly hoping for, a scoreless third inning, not going to happen. So here's Moises Gomez, still nobody out, runner at second. Gomez, the fourth man to the plate here in this inning. And he will take a first pitch strike. Don't have the speed gun in-house working at the moment, but we do have the live pitch data. Find out that that fastball is coming in there by 92 miles an hour. That one looked a little bit harder, and it brushes back Gomez out of the box. It was up around the shoulders, and he got out of there quickly. 1 ball, 1 strike. Set at the letters Robles, 1-1. Outside, 2 balls, 1 strike. Moises Gomez started the scoring tonight with a sacrifice fly, bringing in Kramer Robertson in the first. His 3rd RBI of the year. Robles 2-1, swing and a miss. Ball had some sink to it, diving down and away from the right-handed hitting Gomez. Might have been the changeup. Time is called for as Gomez steps out of the box. Figure Robles with his slider and curveball, that's pitches that are going to be able to come down and in on a right-handed hitter. And the changeup should have that sinking fade down and away. And now the 2-2 is popped up sky high and back of first base. Into foul ground goes Fuentes. He has a play. He'll make it. Backpedaling onto the grass. Moises Gomez retired on the foul pop. First base foul ground. 1 gone here in the 3rd inning. There's Lucan Baker. First pitch to Baker. He is low and in, ball 1. We're in the top of the 3rd inning already. A back and forth ball game. Stripers have been down by a run twice and have come back to tie it twice. But now down by 2, trailing 4-2. Here's the 1-0. And that kicks to the right of Hudson. Down to third base goes DeYoung. And we'll see if that's another wild pitch on Robles. Likely it will be. And it is the second wild pitch of the day. And that'll force the Stripers to draw the infield in. Hunched over from the right side is Baker. And the 2-0. It's pulled foul third base side, just under the feet of DeYoung standing at third. And it is a 2-1 count for Baker. Not quite to the lip of the grass are the Stripers infielders, about halfway in. And now the 2-1 is down and away. The count 3 balls, 1 strike. For as hard as Baker hits the ball, you don't want to be drawn in so close that you're eaten up by a line drive. So you kind of have to play it halfway. 3-1, swing and a miss. And a full count for Baker. Certainly a strikeout would be helpful here for Robles if he's to get out of this inning with just the 2 runs allowed. DeYoung had the 2-run double. He's now with third with 1 away. And the 3-2 pitch in flight. Called strike 3. Lucan Baker smacks himself in the helmet. Upset that he took one right down the middle from Domingo Robles. A big strikeout, needed that. That's his third of the game. Second time he has fanned Baker. And now a chance to leave it at just the 2 runs facing Oscar Mercado. Feels like this ball game's going to go back and forth throughout the course of the night. First pitch on the way to Mercado. Will miss for ball 1. Oscar Mercado doubled to lead off the second and scored on the single to the right side by Yuniel Caracudo. When Memphis took their second of the 3 leads in this game. Robles, the 1-0, is fouled down towards the Stripers' dugout, right near the stairwell. The count is 1-1 on Mercado. Set is Robles, and the 1-1. And that's jammed up the middle. Out is Shoemake, and he goes up and gets it. Braden Shoe making it happen. Tracked down that dying flare to center, and that saves a run for Robles and the Stripers. Tremendous play up the middle by Shoemake. Keeps the deficit at 2. Stripers down 4-2 to Memphis as we go to the home half of the third here on mycountry993.com.
Your streaming home of the Stripers.
First pitch quickly put in the air down to third base, and it's caught by the sliding Kramer Robertson on the knees. Forrest Wall. A little pop-up behind the mound, and Kramer Robertson came on to make the play. So 1 pitch, 1 out for Matthew Liberatore here in the third. Stripers trailing 4-2. So the Memphis Redbirds trying to answer right back. That's something they've been able to do twice already in this game. Memphis led 1-0. Stripers tied it at 1. Memphis went up 2-1. Stripers tied it at 2. Memphis now up 4-2. And Liberatore not waiting for the walk-up song to end. First pitch was low for ball 1. I believe they counted that pitch. They did. A swing and a foul tip back into the mitt. The count 1 ball, 1 strike on Grissom. He's 0 for 1. Hit a 2-strike pitch right at the first baseman, Lucan Baker, back in the first. Liberatore's 1-1 is foul over right to Braden Shoemake, showing off the hands again. Caught that on 1 bounce. Made that fantastic leaping catch in shallow center to end the top half of the third. And now bringing it to the on-deck circle. Here's the 1-2. And that's fouled back to the backstop. Ball in on the hands of Grissom. Grissom adjusts the helmet bill. Gets up on the tiptoe on that front foot just a little bit. Here's the 1-2. And a swing and a miss, strike 3. Nasty breaking ball there from Liberatore. 2 gone. And that'll bring up Braden Shoemake. Only reminder, Stripers fans, every Stripers homer this season is sponsored by SoFi. Hit a financial home run with SoFi, the all-in-one finance app where you can bank, borrow, and invest. Download the SoFi app today to get your money right. Joe Hudson with a solo home run for the Stripers tonight. Swing and a miss by Shoemake on the high offering from Liberatore. Probably excited to see something to hit. Drew a walk in the first inning on 4 pitches. Here's the 0-1. And that's a high chopper to the right side into the glove of Lucan Baker. He'll run it to first, and the inning is over. Stripers go in order for the first time tonight. And we'll go to the top of the 4th. Memphis 4, Stripers 2 here on mycountry993.com. Stripers held off the board in the bottom of the 3rd. The first time that either side has not scored in an inning tonight. We're in the top of the 4th. Memphis leading at 4-2 in game 2 of 6. And Domingo Robles trying to get settled into this one. He has been very unsettled throughout the first 3 innings, having allowed 4 runs on 5 hits. He has walked 2, he has hit a batter, and the leadoff man has been aboard all 3 innings so far. As Yuniel Caracudo stands in. First pitch from Robles is high for ball 1. Caracudo able to send one to the right side out of the reach of Braden Shoemake to drive in a run in the 2nd inning. So he is 1 for 1 tonight. Slight movement in the bat behind the helmet. 1-0 pitch is fouled off to the right. Caracudo has been to the big leagues, but a true cup of coffee with Tampa Bay in 2016. 4 games is all. But 1 for 11, the lone hit, a triple. He does have 2 career Major League RBIs. Strike on the inner third, the count 1-2. So he's been there, but not for very long and not for a long while. Here's the 1-2 pitch, sinking down and in. 2 balls, 2 strikes. It's not exactly the Sean Kazmar Jr. story where Kazmar had been up with the Padres in 2008, didn't get back until 2021 with Atlanta. But still, 2016's a long time ago. Here's the 2-2. Fouled away again, over towards the Stripers on deck circle. He's had a lot of time in AAA. He's played for 5 different teams in 8 different seasons. Durham, Sacramento, Reno, Louisville, and now Memphis. Bent at the waist on the pitch, traveling down and in. And the count full. On the 71st pitch of the game from Domingo Robles. No action of the Stripers bullpen just yet. Robles went 80+ last time out. Should be good for that again tonight. Is 3-2. Ball 4. And the streak of leadoff batters reaching base reaches 4 innings now. On the 3rd walk of the game from Robles. And here's Chase Pinder. Again, the rhythm for Robles tonight has been non-existent, much different than what we saw the first time out in Norfolk. He was pumping strikes in the zone consistently, had the 7 strikeouts, didn't walk a single batter in that outing. Scattered 7 hits, gave up just the 1 run tonight, a little bit different story. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Pinder, swing and a miss, the count 0-2. You have to wonder where Robles might slide into this rotation, around to the staff in general moving forward, with Jared Schuster back down from the big leagues, Dylan Dodd now back on the ball club. They will be in the starting rotation. That's 2 lefties right there. Here's the 0-2. Yeah, just a bit high to Pinder, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Of course, Michael Soroka is going to take his turn in the rotation. You got some other interesting names, guys like Nolan Kingham, who's slated to start tomorrow. That's been kind of a starter/reliever hybrid over the last few years. And Alan Winans, who's had the best start of the year. Swing and a miss, strike 3 for Pinder. He is gone. 4th strikeout for Robles, first out of the 4th. And we go to the top for Kramer Robertson. Reach back and might have added a tick or 2 on that last fastball. Challenged him up high around the letters and sent it on by the bat. Good pitch there by Robles. So here is Robertson. He's walked, scored a run, and grounded out. And that ball whistles into the glove for a strike. 0-1 the count. Leaned in is Robles. Climbing out to a lead away from first is Karakudo. And the 0-1 is fouled down off the foot of Robertson. Kramer Robertson, good sporting bloodlines in his family, which we've talked about a numerous amount of times over the last couple of years. But not this year. Not yet. Till now, that is. Kramer Robertson, the son of Kim Mulkey, who is the head basketball coach for LSU women's basketball, this year's national champions. So a very decorated family as well. The 0-2. And a slow roller back to the mound. Backhand pick, rather. Underhand toss to first by Robles, and the out on Robertson goes 1-3. Down to second base goes Karakudo. And there are 2 outs in the 4th. We'll bring up Mason Wynn, off to a 2-for-2 start tonight. 2 singles and a run scored. Robles and out away from a scoreless frame for the first time tonight. He can retire Wynn, which has been a tough ask here the last 2 ball games. And he rips this ball deep to left field. Going into the corner is Wall, looking up. This ball is fair, and it's gone. A 2-run homer for Mason Wynn. That's his 5th hit of the series, 3rd hit of this ball game, and it adds to the lead for Memphis as they will take a 6-2 lead on Wynn's first home run of the season. Cardinals' number 2 prospect starting to flex that muscle at the plate. Uppercut that baseball on out into the corner. Wall can only watch it as it ends up over the wall. And the Stripers down by 4. So much for that scoreless inning for Robles. Here's Ivan Herrera. First pitch laid on the cut, strike 1. He'll swing the leg and deal high and wide. It's a 1-1 count. The 1-1. And that's hammered out of the reach of the shortstop Grissom. They're starting to get some good swings on the baseball are the Redbirds. Taking off for second, Herrera. Throw coming into second base, not in time. It's a double. And with that pitch count now over 80, you have to wonder if they're going to get some action going in the bullpen. It's Robles. And they must have action in the pen because here comes Matt Tuiasosopo. Not always easy to see in that bullpen, but there is action, right-handed action. And then that right-hander is coming on. Into the line for Domingo Robles, his second AAA start, not quite as good as the first. As he exits with his club trailing 6-2, the runner at second is responsibility, and will step out for the pitching change. Stripers trailing Memphis 6-2 here in the 4th on mycountry993.com. Pitching change made by the Stripers here in the top half of the 4th. Domingo Robles looked like he was going to get his first scoreless inning of the night. And then Mason Wynn had other thoughts. A 2-run homer just inside the foul pole down the left field line, his first in AAA ball. And already his 3rd hit of this ball game. Raised the lead to 6-2. Right after that, Ivan Herrera scalded one out into left center for a double, and that was the end of the line for Robles. He is done after just over 80 pitches. Just under 4 innings, 3 2/3, and now it is Connor Johnstone. A 28-year-old born in San Diego but raised in Roswell, Georgia. Braves 21st round pick out of Wake Forest in 2017. He's been on this AAA roster for the Stripers for several seasons now, all the way back to 2018. In fact, he's 11th on the club in appearances for his career. And he will stride and deliver. First pitch to Ivan Herrera, or rather, Paul DeYoung for strike 1. This is DeYoung in the right-handed batter's box. He's got a 2-run double as part of the onslaught. 1 for 2 tonight. Set below the waist, Johnstone. The pitch is aired out down the right field line. Hooking towards the seats. It'll be well back into the navy blue seats of Coolray Field. The count 1-1 strike on DeYoung. This is the second appearance for Johnstone. He started the year on the Stripers development list. Activated on the road trip. 1-1 is down and away. The count 2-1. And a guy that has served all different kinds of roles for the Stripers. Starter, long reliever. Not really pitched in high leverage situations late in games. It's usually been like this. Here's the 2-1. And that is outside and low. 3 balls, 1 strike. And he's put together a nice AAA career, 11-10 record, 4.33 ERA, 1 save in 78 games, 24 starts. And right now trying to strand an inherited runner for Domingo Robles, who is out of this game. It's a 3-1 count to DeYoung, however. Herrera away from second base. And the 3-2 pitch. Line drive, center field, base hit. Around third goes Herrera. He'll come home and score. Throw is cut off behind the mound by Fuentes. Another run comes to the plate here. That's the 3rd of the 4th inning, and the lead now 7-2 Memphis. DeYoung's second hit and 3rd RBI. And all these runs in this fourth have scored with 2 outs. So that run will go to the final line of Robles. You can close the book on him. And John Stone will get together with Joe Hudson on the mound and try to figure this thing out. Stripers right now in a 5-game losing streak, 2-7 for the year. Played a very competitive opening series of the season against Jacksonville. Could have easily won all 3 games. All were decided in the final at bat. And then that series at Norfolk started off promising with a 6-1 win to spoil the Tide's opening night, handing them their first loss of the year. As now we have, really the conversation is more between Hudson and the home plate umpire than Sontag. It looked like Hudson was instructing Sontag there. And they're still talking about it. So Hudson feels like maybe they're not getting some strike calls that he should be receiving. And now he's back into the crouch. We'll see how it plays out as Moises Gomez steps in. And John Stone on the way home. That's low and away. Stripers down by 5, but a lot of ball game to go. But it's got to start with getting out of this inning. John Stone's 1-0, fouled off to the right by Gomez. And a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Moises Gomez, a sac fly and a pop-up in foul territory. 0 for 1. Holding that bat right up against his body. Here comes the 1-1. Check swing. Did he go at that? Yes, he did on appeal to first. And a 1-ball, 2-strike count on Gomez as John Stone looks to finish off the frame here. DeYoung away from first, held on by Fuentes. Off the third base side of the rubber comes John Stone, and he just missed low. The count 2-2. Two-two pitch, and that is stroked to right field. Going back, Sierra over his head. It'll take a big bounce off the wall. Around third goes DeYoung. He will score without a throw. It's an RBI double the opposite way for Moises Gomez. And it's an 8-2 Memphis lead. 4 runs have scored here in the fourth. Gomez's second RBI of the game. And the visiting side filling up the scorebook right now. It's their 9th hit. And it high off the wall, stayed in the ballpark. Justin Dean came over from center field after it was over the head of Magneri Sierra. Dean's got a cannon arm, but no shot with 2 outs to get DeYoung. And so here's Lucan Baker, runner at second, 2 gone. The pitch from John Stone, swinging a foul tip, strike 1. When John Stone's at his best, he's getting ground ball outs. That's one thing he was really successful at last year. Last year had a 1.80 ground ball per air out ratio. And again, though, early this year, coming in, he had a ground out air out ratio of 3. He's not a guy who's going to overpower a batter. But he typically has pretty good movement and can get those soft ground balls. 1 ball, 1 strike to Baker. That is low, 2-1. The pitch arsenal for John Stone, 2-seamer, cutter, slider, changeup. So all those pitches designed to get in on the bat handle or get soft contact. And now the 2-1 is bounced to third. Backing up is Culberson. He'll air it out across the diamond with plenty of time to throw with Baker running, and they'll get him easily to end the frame. But not before 4 more runs tacked on by Memphis. They've raised their lead from 4-2 up to 8-2. And the Stripers have their work cut out for them facing off against Matthew Liberatore. We go to the bottom of the fourth next here on mycountry993.com. Dave Lazat back with you as we head to the bottom half of the fourth. Stripers now down by 6, trailing 8-2 to Memphis. And Matthew Liberatore misses with his first pitch to Yolmer Sanchez, who was the owner of a sacrifice fly and an RBI back in the first when the game was tied at 1. Liberatore hangs in the air and comes home. Pops the mitt for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. And All the commotion of the last few innings. Forgot to bring you our Bally Sports trivia question. We'll do that in this half inning. 1-1 is high. The count 2 balls, 1 strike. You can play along with trivia on the Bally Live app for a chance to win Bally Bucks. Question today, who is the last Gwinnett player to hit 3 home runs in 1 game? Here's the 2-1. Here's the big breaking curveball. It sits for a strike. It's 2-2. So again, the last Gwinnett player to hit 3 home runs in 1 game. Who is it? I know the answer. As Sanchez just lands one fair inside the left field line. This will be extra base as he heads for second base. And Yolmer Sanchez there with a double. Able to keep that fair down the left field line, and the Stripers have something going here in the 4th. That is just their second hit. The other one left the ballpark. It was off the bat of Joe Hudson, the solo homer. With 2 outs in the 2nd that tied the game at 2. And every comeback's got to start somewhere. Maybe it starts with that double by Sanchez. Here is Josh Fuentes. 0 for 1 with a strikeout. And Liberatore sends a curveball. It's bounced to the right side. Charging on it is Caracudo. He'll flip it over to first. Gone is Fuentes, 4-3, but with the big lead, they're content to get an out and allow the runner to advance. So Sanchez down to third. And it'll bring up Charlie Culberson, eyeing up a chance for his first Stripers RBI here. Got into a ball to right field that was reeled in by Chase Pinder back leading off the 2nd. He's 0 for 1. And he'll hook one foul just by Sanchez, just by Tui. And off the wall pads down the left field line. Nothing in 1 the count for Culberson. Opens up the right-handed stance, waves the bat across. 0-1. And a broken bat grounder back to the mound. Liberatore looks the runner back, throws over to first. Low throw handled by Baker for the out. Shards of the bat splitting off, and on that one hopper to the mound, Sanchez has to freeze at third base, and now it'll take a hit with 2 outs from Magneri Sierra. Sierra 0 for 1. Received a called strike 3 back in the 2nd inning. And a curveball strikes. Sierra not happy, thought it was ball 1. Nothing in 1 the count on Sierra. In tied at third is Robertson. And another curve. And again, same reaction for Sierra. Disgusted with himself, I think, for taking that pitch. It's 0-2. And now he'll be looking to swing. Sanchez had the leadoff double, now standing on third, but there's 2 outs. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And it's hit softly to the right side. Waiting on it, Caracudo. Slinging it to first for the out. And the Stripers kept off the board here in the 4th inning. Leadoff double goes by the wayside. We'll go to the top of the 5th. Stripers trail 8-2 to Memphis. Jack Johnson with the play-by-play after the break. Stripers baseball on mycountry993.com.
Welcome back to Coolray Field. Middle innings here between Memphis and Gwinnett. 8-2 Memphis lead as we start the top of the 5th. Jack Johnson joining you on mycountry993.com. A little bit of a delay before we start this inning. It'll be Oscar Mercado to lead things off for the Redbirds. He'll face Connor Johnstone once again. He came in relief of Domingo Robles. His final line, 3 2/3, 7 hits, 6 runs, 7 earned. 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, and this is turned right back up the middle by Mercado on the first pitch. And once again, the leadoff batter is aboard for Memphis. They've done it in all 5 innings. So Mercado reaches, and this line continues to move. I'll bring up Uniel Caracudo, switch hitting batter. The only batter you'll see from the left side of the plate tonight. This is a right-handed heavy batting lineup for Memphis. Johnstone's first pitch, strike 1. So Connor Johnstone, we last saw him on Saturday. He was part of that disastrous 21-2 loss Gwinnett suffered at the hands of Norfolk. Kind of in a similar spot here, down 8-2 is his 0-1, drifts off the plate. Evens this count at 1-1. Mercado has got plenty of speed on at first. He's 4 of 5 on stolen base opportunities. And right on cue, Connor Johnstone's going to check on him over at first. Back with a headfirst slide to the right field side of the bag is Mercado. Slightly open stance, but standing almost straight up is Caracudo. Stunting off at first is Mercado as the pitch was taken high for ball 2. Mercado's back. Hudson jumped out of his crouch, but did not throw over. Fuentes is covering. Mercado at the bag. He takes a little bit more of a liberal lead here on the 2-1, which is off the plate again on the outside. It's 3-1. In that loss to Norfolk, Connor Johnstone went 2 innings, gave up 2 runs on 5 hits, walked 1, struck out 1. 3-1, and he'll check back over. They have a chance, but getting back just in time is Mercado. That throw was a lot more competitive and surprised Mercado a little bit more. That slide was a lot closer to the tag than the first time. Can't pick over unless he gets him, and Mercado takes off on the 3-1. Doesn't matter, it's ball 4. So taking all the way was Caracudo, and it didn't matter because Johnstone put him aboard on 5 pitches. So Mercado down to second. He's in scoring position. By the way, this is the 4th time in 5 innings tonight for Memphis. They've had not just the leadoff batter reach, but the first 2 batters in an inning reach. That brings up Chase Pinder, one of the few to not reach base so far. Pinder swings and misses at the first pitch. 10 hits already for Memphis. They had 9 entering the top of the 5th. That was more than Norfolk had in their 21-run eruption on Saturday. 0-1 misses outside. Evens the count at 1-1. Dusk has turned to darkness surrounding Coolray Field, but it's a hazy night. Honestly, smells kind of smoky. Something emitting from behind right center field is where this is struck. Sierra, 3 steps to his right, makes the catch, throws down to third, but it's going to be cut off by Shoemake on a leap. So Mercado goes second to third, and the Redbirds have the Stripers cornered with 1 away in the top of the 5th. As a result of that smoke or haze rolling in the yard, the light from the light poles dotting left center all the way through right field kind of refracted right now. Here's Kramer Robertson, 0 for 2 so far today, with an opportunity to drive in another Memphis run. Takes outside for ball 1. Robertson with 6 RBIs on the season, reached on a walk his first time up, 2 groundouts his last 2 times to the plate. 1-0 pitch. Robertson swings and misses. So 1-1 to Kramer Robertson, whose mother is not Kim Mulkey. 1-1 pitch on the way, swing and a miss. No, I'm a little bit ahead of myself. So 1-2 to Robertson. He's a 3-sport athlete at Midway High School in Waco, Texas. His mother is Kim Mulkey. LSU women's basketball coach. Robertson watches the 1-2 outside. Coming off a national championship. Robertson was Midway High School's starting quarterback, led his team to the 5A playoffs with an open stance and a 2-2 pitch, and he swings and misses for strike 3. So Johnstone gets on the board with the strikeout. So that'll bring up Mason Wynn. Wynn had a 2-run homer in the top of the 4th. Part of what has inflated this lead to 6 runs. Mercado on at third, Caracudo on at first. First pitch in there for a strike. Wynn tonight has taken his average from 184 when the night started. It's now up to 244. 3 for 3 night he's working. Behind in this count in a righty-on-righty matchup. Johnstone for the third base side of the rubber. Drives it past Mason Wynn for strike 2. Here you see the numbers for Wynn. Picked up his first home run of the game. Now has 5 runs batted in. Another dangerous runner if he gets aboard. He's played in all 10 of Memphis's contests. Outside on the 0-2. Mercado gone on with a loud single up the middle on the first pitch of the inning. Then Caracudo walked. But then Chase Pinder got out as this is tap foul. On a fly out to Magneri Sierra, and Kramer Robertson struck out. It's 1-2. Johnstone trying to put up the first 0 tonight for Gwinnett defensively. He's ahead 1-2, coming off a strikeout to Robertson. Runner takes off for second, and it bounces out of the glove of Hudson. So Caracudo is going to take second base. Now both runners in scoring position. Mercado at third, Caracudo on at second. Deuce is wild at Coolray Field. 2-2 pitch on the way. This is grounded sharply down the third base line, and it'll be a foul ball. Third base umpire is Charlie Ramos. Jacob Metz at second. Tanner Dobson down the line at first. Ben Sontag moving from first, where he was yesterday, to behind the plate. Connor Johnstone already up to 35 pitches. He's had to work hard in this inning. 2-2 to Wynn again, and Wynn takes outside. Pitch started on the outer third of the plate and dove even further away from Mason Wynn. Big payoff pitch coming. Runners at second and third, and an 8-2 ball game. Memphis trying to add to the lead, and Wynn swings and pops one up in the infield. Fuentes is going to wave off Johnstone, trotting in on the grass. He makes the catch for out number 3. So the Stripers, can they get something going in the bottom of the 5th? Joe Hudson's going to come up. He represents one of the 2 Striper runs thus far tonight with a home run. It'll be Hudson, Dean, and Wall in the bottom of the 5th. You're listening to Stripers Baseball on MyCountry993.com. As I mentioned before I left you and we went to break, Joe Hudson, Justin Dean, Forrest Wall in the Stripers' 5th. As Hudson watches high for ball 1. It is again Matthew Liberatore, and he has looked in command so far in this contest. Aside from giving up a home run to this man, Joe Hudson takes outside for ball 2. So Hudson's ahead in the count. It's a loud line shot that cleared the wall in left field right over the Cutwater pad on the wall as Hudson cuts and misses at the 2-0 pitch, and it's 2-1. Kramer Robertson, when Matthew Liberatore is at his best, commands the top of the strike zone. 2-1 pitch is in on the hands and popped out of play. 2-2. Stripers had a leadoff batter reach in Yolmer Sanchez in the bottom of the 4th, but couldn't bring him home, despite him being at third with just 1 out. Culberson grounded back to the pitcher. Magneri Sierra grounded out to end the inning. 2-2. Up and away, 3-2. It's Joe Hudson's first home run of the season, first run batted in on his home run back in the 2nd. 2 out variety for Hudson. 3-2 pitch, lefty on righty. Just misses. Tried to bend that all the way back in the zone. And Liberatore kind of snaps his glove as he gets the ball back from Ivan Herrera. Joe Hudson is on. And for the 3rd time tonight, the Stripers have put the leadoff batter on base. Hudson has reached base twice tonight. That'll bring up Justin Dean. Second on the team and runs batted in. He gets on top of this and bounces it foul off the third base side. Dean falls behind 0-1. Dean in center field tonight for the Stripers, struck out looking his first time. Second at bat of the game, then we'll roll back to the top of the order. Forrest Wall waiting on deck. Liberatore from the stretch is 0-1. This is up and away for ball one. Dean with red Adidas cleats. Pant legs rolled up, red gloves. And the pitch, checked his swing, but it was in there for strike regardless. As I mentioned, Matthew Liberatore, his command has continued to improve, although he was already one of the Cardinals' best minor league pitchers, but that fastball velocity has gone up, made him more competitive. His 1-2 pitch, Dean, a sword, strikes out. Just wasn't expecting the pitch he got from Liberatore, and Dean is now 0 for 2 tonight with 2 strikeouts. Can Forrest Wall get something going? Joe Hudson on it first. Stripers have thoroughly struggled with runners on base. They're 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position. Meanwhile, Memphis has had 13 in scoring position. Liberatore kicks and fires, and misses down and away. 6'4" lefty was the 2021 Cardinals Minor League Pitcher of the Year. Spent most of that season with the Redbirds, 4.04 ERA, over 100+ innings as Wall watches strike one. Forrest Wall has a walk and then popped out to third on a bunt attempt, but just hung in the air long enough for Robertson to come in and make a sliding grab. 1-1 pitch, lefty on lefty, curls away from Wall and outside, ball 2. Wall ahead in the count. He scored the only Striper run yesterday on a double by Braden Shoemake that just burrowed under the glove of Moises Gomez, who was in right field. So allowed Wall to score from first to third. On the 2-1, he launches outside again. 3-1. Unfortunately, one of the higher features in Wall's game, if he were to reach, would be held up a little bit because he had one of the slowest players in front of him on the base path, so you wouldn't be able to send Wall in a steal situation. 3-1, he chops this to the right side, fielded by the second baseman Karakudo to second. That's one on the first. They get the speedy Wall for a 4-6-3 double play. Memphis rolls a pair, gets out of the inning. The Stripers once again go scoreless, and it remains 8-2 after 5. You're listening to Stripers Baseball on MyCountry993.com. And welcome back to Coolray Field. Ivan Herrera, Paul Dion, and Moises Gomez, who have done a lot of damage tonight. Obviously, who hasn't in a Redbirds uniform in an 8-2 game? Connor Johnstone delivers the first pitch of the inning, but already stepping out of the box was Herrera. It's going to be ruled no pitch. So Herrera quickly back in the box. The pitch clock down to 10. Johnstone from the windup. First pitch to the top of the 6th is in there for a strike. Kind of a tepid swing from Herrera. Stands with a neutral grip on the 0-1. He watches down and away for ball 1. Slightly open stance as a red shin guard. And Johnstone on the 2-1. This is grounded left side, but foul. Right over by Ben Johnson, whose night has cooled off a little bit from the opening inning when a bunch of liners were coming his way. And to play his best, Keanu Reeves. That snapped the bat of Herrera, so he's going to get some fresh lumber. That's going to give us a minute to talk about Connor Johnstone. Johnstone went 2 innings against Norfolk. You have to go back to his last appearance with Gwinnett last year, September 27th against Louisville. Last time he went 3 complete innings. Now can he get out of his 3rd inning of work as he misses inside on the 2-2 pitch to push the count full. Stripers finally held Memphis off the board in the top of the 5th. They rolled a 1 in the first, a 1 in the second, 2 in the third, then 4 in the 4th. In on the hands, it grounded over to Grissom. He eats it up and throws to first with plenty of time to get the catcher Herrera for out number 1. And that is the first time tonight a Memphis Redbird batting leadoff in an inning, has been shut off the base path. In the 6th inning, has been that kind of night for the Stripers. First pitch in there for a strike to Paul DeYoung. DeYoung so far is 2 for 3. He's looked a lot better tonight as opposed to yesterday as the 0-1 skips in to even the count at 1-1. Yesterday, Paul DeYoung really struggled. Went 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts, struck out in his first time. It's then a double and a single as he hits this back to the screen. Johnstone so far in this inning has really attacked righty batters in on the hands. We've seen a lot of weakly hit balls as a result. His 1-2, again in on the hands, and again shot back to the screen. More off the handle of DeYoung's two-tone bat than the barrel. It was a 2 RBI double in the 2nd that drove in Ivan Herrera and Mason Wynn, and then a single that also drove in a run as the 1-2 is in there, strike 3. DeYoung watches it on the outside corner, and he'll walk back to the dugout, exit stage right, Paul DeYoung. And that brings up Moises Gomez. So amongst all the praise we're giving Paul DeYoung, where his at-bats in the middle of his day, he still has 5 strikeouts over the course of 2 games with the Redbirds. Here's the first offering to Moises Gomez. It bends in for a strike. Stripers trying to hold Memphis off the board for the 2nd straight inning. 0-1 pitch on the way, in on the hands, and popped up. In the infield, it's Fuentes again. Makes the catch. Left foot on the chalk down the first base line. So a pop up to first, ends the 5th, ends the 6th. Stripers coming up. Welcome back to Coolray Field. Jack Johnson with you for the bottom of the 6th. It'll be Vaughn Grissom, Braden Shoemake, and Yalmer Sanchez. Grissom has grounded out and struck out tonight. Matthew Liberatore back on the hill, and the first pitch bends in for strike 1. Liberatore slowed that way down. Vaughn Grissom still batting comfortably over 300. Part of his torrid start, which ballooned those numbers, and he slices this through the hole on the right side for a base hit. Vaughn Grissom going back in the right direction. And can that kickstart anything for the Stripers here in the bottom of the 6th? These middle innings have been where the Stripers have really made their progress. Unfortunately, they've had to play from behind in every home game. As Braden Shoemake steps to the plate, they have given up at least 1 run. We played 5 home games now at Coolray Field in all 5 games. Braden Shoemake watches strike 1 on the outside. Matthew Liberatore, his splits this season, now only 8 at-bats coming into the game, but he gave up a 500 average to lefties coming in. And Braden Shoemake, one of the rare lefties that doesn't just tolerate left-handed pitching, he loves it. He takes a mighty cut at the 0-1 and comes up empty. He parked left-handed pitching over the right center field fence on the bank for a 3-run walk-off home run on opening night, March the 31st. It's the Stripers' only home win this season, 0-2, just inside. Shoemake kind of had to move his knee back out of the way as when it reached the back half of the plate, it was still diving inside. A 1-2 Liberatore from the stretch with Grissom on at first. Misses outside. It's a good take by Shoemake. Vaughn Grissom, he's stolen 2 bags this year. Natsui Yasusopo, the third base coach, also the Striper skipper, has given a virtual green light to just about everybody. You know Grissom has one. Here's the pitch and a swing and a miss by Shoemake to go down on strikes. So 1 on, 1 gone in the bottom of the 6th. Braden Shoemake strikes out. And now here's Yalmer Sanchez. 1 of 2 Striper hits, now 1 of 3 Striper hits belong to Sanchez. Here's the first pitch. That curled inside. Sanchez skipped rope, got out of the way. So he's gonna have his at-bat continue. That almost bounced up and got him. I should say 1 of 2 extra base hits tonight for the Stripers. He led off the bottom of the 4th with a double. Did not score in that frame. Liberatore set just below the letters. Takes one quick look over at Grissom. Now comes to the plate. This is sliced out of play. Just a colossal foul ball. That's going to head for the parking lot. So 1-1 the count. One out in the bottom of the sixth. 8-2 Memphis lead. 10 hits in the contest for the Redbirds. 3 for the Stripers. 1-1. That misses above the zone. Von Grissom got on first with a leadoff single. It's the fifth time the Stripers have gotten their leadoff batter aboard. The pitch to Sanchez on the 2-1. He cuts and tips it back into the mitt. So we're even at 2 between Liberatore and Sanchez. Sanchez, a switch hitting batter, takes most of his bats from the left side of the box. Now digs in on the right. Narrow stance, but he'll stride towards Liberatore on the 2-2 pitch, and here it comes. And Sanchez fires this foul off to the right. He's made loud contact in this series. Some of them have fallen in the case of his double in the fourth. One was just scorched to center yesterday, but tracked down in the fourth inning. He's made loud contact in this at-bat. Now we're going to get time called by Ben Sontag. He's going to walk out towards the mound. There has not been an automatic ball issued just yet, so either he wanted to clarify something with Matthew Liberatore. The clock is now started. It's ticking inside of 15 seconds. Sanchez is now going to call time himself, and Sontag is going to go out again. He's going to flip off his mask. Liberatore is motioning into Sanchez. Now there's shattering coming from both dugouts. And Ben Johnson is out of his dugout. He's walking onto the grass in foul territory down the first base line. He's going to go have a chat with Ben Sontag. The clock is completely turned off. It's a 2-2 count to Yolmer Sanchez in the bottom of the sixth in an 8-2 ball game. We're having a conference between Ben Johnson and Ben Sontag. A 6-run lead for the Redbirds. But the conference was called by the visiting team skipper. Two more games with a 7:05 start time after tonight. Tomorrow night, scheduled starter for Gwinnett, Nolan Kingham. Dakota Hudson will go for Memphis. This conference has concluded between Johnson and Sontag. Doesn't look like anybody is particularly happy with the outcome, but we're just going to agree to disagree in a 6-run game. In the interest of pace of play. 3-2 pitch to Sanchez, and he cuts and misses to strike out. Back-to-back strikeouts for Shoemake and Sanchez after Grissom led off with a single. That's been the story of the game in 3 at-bats. The Stripers get the leadoff batter on. They did so in the first, they did so in the fourth, and the fifth, and the sixth. They have scored one time, only in the first. Fuentes watches a strike. Stripers on the homestand coming into tonight, batting 100 with a double and an RBI. They have 2 runs tonight, as that misses down and in, a back foot breaking ball that was never competitive. A lot of curveballs the first time up for Fuentes when he struck out on a curveball in the dirt. Is also grounded out in an 0-for-2 night. 1-1. Liberatore set below the letters, deals to the plate, and a check swing bouncer foul down the first base line off the bat of Fuentes. They haven't given their pitchers a lot of run support. The pitchers, in turn, have also given up a lot of runs. It's 2 sides pulling on opposite ends of the rope. Fuentes watches a strike right down the middle, and he's gone. And so are the Stripers in the bottom of the sixth. 3 strikeouts in a row, so the side retired all on strikeouts. Grissom spoiled on first with the leadoff single. Dave Lazat's going to rejoin you on the other side. It remains 8-2 Memphis. You're listening to Stripers Baseball on MyCountry993.com.
Welcome back to Coolray Field. We go to the top of the 7th, a game that has been dominated by the visiting team, the Memphis Redbirds. They piled up 8 runs on 10 total hits over the first 6 innings of this contest, leading 8-2 over your Stripers here in the top of the 7th. New pitcher on the hill is the sidewinding lefty, Ryan Moran. His first pitch floats outside for ball 1 to Lucan Baker. Baker 0 for 3. They've done it without help from him tonight. 2 strikeouts and a ground out. A kick and pitch from Moran down the middle of strike. The count evens at a ball and a strike to Baker. Brian Moran, the elder statesman of this roster, age 34. 6'4", 225 as this ball is launched out to left center. Going back is Wall and Dean. At the wall, it drops off the wall. Dean picks it up on the track, tosses it back in, but it's a double for Lucan Baker. Another leadoff batter reaches base. That's been a big story for the Redbirds tonight. In fact, all but 1 inning in this game, they have had their leadoff man aboard, and here in the 7th, it's Baker via the double. Looked like that ball was going to have a chance to get out to left center, but it ended up off the wall. And so Baker has his first hit. Here's Oscar Mercado, 2 for 3 with a double, a single, and a hard line out up the middle to second. First pitch from Moran to him floats inside quarter a strike. Moran is on for the 3rd time this season. No record, a 2.25 ERA, 294 opponent average. We have time called by Mercado. He has walked only 1 while striking out 6 in his 2nd tour of duty with the Stripers, or with Gwinnett, I should say. His 0-1 is high and wide, 1 ball, 1 strike. Last time he pitched for Gwinnett, they were still the G-Braves back in 2016. His career has taken all kinds of twists and turns since then, as a swing and a miss by Mercado makes it 1-2. He's gone to the big leagues since we saw him in 2016. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count on Mercado. Here it is from Moran. Fouled back to the screen. We'll do it again. And Moran with that tough arm angle will throw fastball, slider, and changeup. A lot of sliders used typically for Moran. Here's the 1-2. Poked softly to the backstop screen. Look out, Caracudo. That snuck up on him in the on-deck circle. Ball bounced right behind him. And he flinched at it. 1 ball, 2 strikes for Mercado. Moran out of the stretch, shaking off 1 sign from Joe Hudson. Is 1-2. Fastball high and outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. We'll get you some final pitching lines here on both the starter, Domingo Robles, and the first reliever of this game, Connor Johnstone, who helped settle things down a bit. Here's the 2-2. And that's ripped out to left field. But playable for Forrest Wall. He'll square up to it, makes the catch. Baker going to try to tag to third. Here comes the throw in, and not in time to get him. A feet first slide for Baker, just beating it. Baker is not known for his foot speed. He's got a lot of tools, a lot of power, but not the fastest man by any stretch, but able to tag from second to third there and arriving just ahead of that 1 bounce throw from Forrest Wall and left. So Baker's on third base with 1 gone for Uniel Caracudo, who has been aboard all 3 times tonight. 2 walks and an RBI single. He has stolen a base. He has scored a run. And Hudson and Moran have a chat on the mound right now. Hudson doing a lot of talking tonight to the pitchers on this staff and to the home plate umpire for that matter. He and Ben Sontag had a nice long discussion on a walk back from the mound earlier. So here is Caracudo. He'll climb in from the right side wearing the different colored helmet. And Moran slings it home, but outside, ball 1. Stripers will draw the infield most of the way in, especially at first. Joshua Fuentes in tight. And it's hit that way and through, a base hit. And Baker will come in to score to make it a 9-2 Memphis lead. RBI for Caracudo, his 2nd hit of the day. On-base percentage perfect today. And Baker, who led off with the double, comes in to score against Moran. Let's get some pitching lines out of the way, shall we? Domingo Robles, the starting pitcher for the Stripers tonight, 3 2/3, gave up 7 runs on 7 hits. Walked 3, struck out 4. 1 homer, that was to Mason Wynn. And after that, again, Connor Johnstone, nice job settling the game down overall. 2 1/3 for Johnstone, a run on 3 hits, a walk, 2 strikeouts. And now it's Moran as he pulls the string on the inside slider, a swing and a miss for Chase Pinder. And Pinder quickly behind 0-2. Chase Pinder hitless out of the 9 spot. Double play ground out, a strikeout. Went around on that, and he strikes out again. He's now 0 for 4 with 2 punch outs. It's Moran's first. And we go to the top of the order for Kramer Robertson. Robertson a walk and a run scored in an 0 for 3 showing so far. Long brown curly hair out the back of that Redbird's helmet. He's got a headband that he wears as well that sticks out behind the helmet. Checks the swing, takes a strike, in on the fists, 1-1. Glove at the side of Brian Moran. A Rye, New York native comes set, looks over to first base and brings home the 1-1. This is inside. And the count 2-1. So the Stripers on their third pitcher of the night. Meanwhile, Memphis still has Matthew Liberatore in the ball game, and they may send him back out to the mound. There does not appear to be bullpen action. Liberatore sitting at 87 pitches, 57 for strikes. Here's the 2-1. That drifts outside. Hitters count of 3-1 for Robertson. And while Liberatore has finally given up earned runs tonight, he has still been impressive. 8 strikeouts over 6 innings of 3-hit 2-run ball. Here's a chopper out to short, charging Grissom. Fielding, he'll make the short shovel over to second base. Shoemaker on the bag for the out. And the inning is over, but another run comes home for the Redbirds. They now have 9 runs on 12 hits. They get an RBI single from Uniel Caracudo to go up 9-2. And it is stretch time here at Coolray Field. This is Stripers Baseball on MyCountry993.com. It's Charlie Culberson, Magneri Sierra, and Joe Hudson. 6, 7, and 8 coming up for the Stripers here in the bottom of the 7th. As fans get settled back into their seats, Culberson delivers a souvenir to the Cutwater Club. Fouled the first pitch back. And some fans will jostle for it. As Culberson takes ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Culberson tonight 0 for 2. Now 1 for 25 to start his Stripers career. Need him to get on track. And he swings and fouls one off to the right. The count 1 ball, 2 strikes. Got our trivia question answer for you. I know you've been waiting patiently for that. Quite honestly, we forgot to do it. It's on me. Not going to throw Jack under the bus for that one. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Culberson. And Liberatore turns and deals. Swinging a foul tip. Held on to by the catcher Herrera. That's a strikeout. And another one for Liberatore. That's his 9th. More on him in a moment, but first let's get you that trivia answer before I forget again. The question was, who was the last Gwinnett player to hit 3 home runs in 1 game? And the answer, if you said Alex Jackson, you're a winner. Was on May 27th, 2021 against Memphis. There's the tie-in. Went yard 3 times against the Memphis Redbirds. Stripers won big in that game. They could certainly use a 3-homer effort, but running out of time in this one tonight, down 9-2. Magneri Sierra takes a called strike. He's behind 0-2 to Matthew Liberatore. This is his 3rd start of the season. Looks like he's going to be around 100 pitches for the first time. And he rattles one off the catcher's gear of Herrera for a 1 ball, 2 strike count. Like I've said earlier in the broadcast, the Stripers have seen a lot of Liberatore. So too has the rest of the International League. He spent all of 2021 here, made 22 starts, had a 4.04 ERA and a 9-9 record. Look out as Sierra ducks down out of the way of a curveball. He's traveling towards his ear hole. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And then last year, Liberatore made 22 starts again at a 5.17 ERA. Went 7-9. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Gone is Sierra. That's the 10th punch out for Liberatore. But he was age 21 the first season, age 22 the second season. You get the sense here in 2023 at age 23 that he's poised for a breakout. He did make his major league debut last year. 9 games, 7 starts, had a ERA close to 6. Hit on the ground to third, diving and smothering is Robertson. fires across to get Hudson. What a play there by Kramer Robertson. And it makes for a 1-2-3-7, 2 strikeouts, and that highlight reel defensive play. We'll go to the top of the 8th. Memphis 9, Stripers 2 here on mycountry993.com. A ball game that was certainly very tight in the early going is now decidedly in the hands of the Memphis Redbirds. Their lead is 9-2 over your Stripers here in the top of the 8th. And they will send Mason Wynn, Ivan Herrera, and Paul DeYoung to the plate to face lefty Brian Moran. Moran gave up a run on 2 hits in the 7th, stranded a runner. And now faces Wynn, who's had a breakout series over the first 2 games. He'll take strike 1, 0-1. 2 hits yesterday, 3 tonight, including his first homer of the year. A 2-run shot pulled just inside the left field foul pole that gave the Redbirds their current winning margin. Put them up 4-2. They tacked on 2 more in that 4th, added another in the 7th. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss, and the count 0-2 on Wynn. And let me backtrack. It was the 2-run homer in the 3rd, followed by the 4-run 4th, and then the run in the 7th for those scoring at home. 0-2 from Moran. Swing and a miss, strike 3. He puts down Mason Wynn. So a good start to the 8th for Brian Moran and company. That's Moran's 2nd strikeout. Drop that arm down through the fastball, and high leg kick finish there as he strikes out Mason Wynn. And Moran sends that slider down the middle for a strike. 0-1 the count. Looks like most of the canines that were here for Wet Nose Wednesday have gone home. There's a few still out on the bank in right center. And as every Wednesday night here at Coolray Field, dogs are free with a paid owner on the bank, courtesy of Salen's. Big weekend of promotions upcoming for the Stripers. Here's the 1-1. High fly ball deep to left. Wall watches it sail on out off the bricks for Ivan Herrera. It's his 2nd homer of the season. And that'll make it a 10-2 Memphis lead. Is their 2nd home run of the ball game, first since Mason Wynn's 2-run blast in the 4th. And Herrera steps on home plate, points to the sky, following home run number 2. Left that pitch up and over the plate, and Moran immediately ducked down, knowing he had served up a meatball there. Here's Paul DeYoung. And the first pitch wraps inside ball 1. But anyways, looking ahead to the upcoming slate of promotions for your Stripers. Here's the 1-0. Curls in for a strike, 1-1. Got our first Thirsty Thursday coming up tomorrow night, presented by Michelob Ultra. $2 12-ounce domestic beers for our fans that are age 21 and over. And $5 Cutwater margaritas. Pitch outside, the count is 2-1. We also have a chicken wing buffet tomorrow, part of our buffet package specials throughout Thirsty Thursdays this year. Here's the 2-1 from Moran, swing and a miss. And it's 2-2 for DeYoung. Faith and Family Night presented by My Country 99.3 WCON. That is on Friday at 7:05 p.m. Post-game fireworks for the 2nd time this year. And we're excited about another giveaway on Saturday. Fouled off to the right by DeYoung. Still 2-2. Stripers will join with Major League and Minor League Baseball in celebrating Jackie Robinson Day. And this year we'll be giving away Atlanta Black Crackers t-shirts for the first 2,000 fans, honoring the famous Negro League team from Atlanta. Here's a pop-up, middle of the field. Out for it is both Grissom and Shoemake. It'll be Shoemake, the 2nd baseman, putting it away for the 2nd out of the inning. And 2 gone in the 8th. You can view the full Stripers promo schedule and buy your tickets over at GoStripers.com. Here's Moises Gomez. Gomez at RBI double back in the 4th. He'll take a strike, 0-1. Got a good look there at Braden Shoemake after that pop-up he caught. Here's the 0-1. down and away. Of course, a lot of folks that are watching at home are probably split screening with the Braves game right now and know that Orlando Arcia was hit around the hand wrist area by a pitch tonight, came out of the game. Braves announced on Twitter that the X-rays were negative, so that's the good news for Arcia, who's had a resurgence as a regular member of the Braves starting 9 this year, but it's possible that he might hit the injured list. Again, no fracture, which is good, but still might miss some time. Swinging a pop-up, foul ground first base side. But as for the time being, it is still Shoemake and Grissom on defense for the Stripers, so nobody's been called out of the game. It'll be interesting to see what the next few days hold. This ball is jammed out to left field, and it'll hang up for a wall. He'll chase it down for the out. Inning is over, but another home run. Ivan Herrera's solo shot raises the Memphis lead to 10-2. And we'll go to the bottom of the 8th at Stripers Baseball on mycountry993.com. Dave Lazat back with you as this game moves to the bottom of the 8th on a Wednesday night at Coolray Field. Stripers trailing the Memphis Redbirds 10-2 in Game 2 of 6. And they'll face a new pitcher for the first time tonight, as it is right-hander Cody Whitley taking over for the starter Matthew Liberatore. Justin Dean, the first man he will face, and he'll stride and fire home. It is up and in for ball 1 to Dean. 0 for 2 for Dean. A couple of strikeouts against Liberatore, 2 out of the 10 that Liberatore fanned tonight. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss. Half-hearted cut that time on a pitch sinking down below the bat. 2 balls, no, or rather 1-1 the count on Dean. And the 1-1. Sky-high pop behind the plate off with the mask Herrera, but this one's headed for the roof. And right above our heads, it's 2-1. Whitley, a familiar face on the mound because he has pitched for Memphis in each of the last 2 seasons. This is his 4th appearance of this year. An ERA right at 3, swing and a miss, and the count, well, was wrong on the board. That's strike 3. So Whitley announces his presence with authority with a strikeout. 1 down, we go to the top for Forrest Wall. Whitley got a taste of AAA in 2021, and he was excellent over 12 appearances, had a 1.69 ERA, went 3-0, held opponents to a 193 average. Struck out 21 over 16 innings and had 3 saves and 3 chances. Hard to get much better than those numbers. And his numbers in 2022 were not as good, but still decent. As Forrest Wall shoots one foul to the left side, the count 1 ball, 1 strike. Last year, 30 appearances. A 3.86 ERA, 1-0. Again, 3 for 3 in saves. Opponent average at 254. High for ball 2, 2-1, and again averaging more than a strikeout per inning was Cody Whitley. Shoulder high set, and the pitch to Wall is inside. 3 balls, 1 strike. Wall has walked and scored. Has a stolen base, his team leading 5th. Since then has popped up and has grounded into a rare double play. Not often that you can double up Wall with his speed. And he'll draw a walk here, so he's aboard for the 2nd time. That'd be big news in a close game, but right now the Stripers need a whole boatload of base runners. They need a big crooked inning here in the 8th to get back into this ball game. Trailing by 8. Here's Vaughn Grissom. Single to the right side, which has become his MO this season. Opposite field. That was in the 6th. He's 1 for 3. This ball is right in on the hands and missing for ball 1. Whitley trying to give him an uncomfortable at-bat. Whole right side of the field is wide open to him if he can send it that way again. And Whitley's 1-0 is fouled off to the right. 1 ball, 1 strike. Whitley's 1-1. Line drive, center field, coming on Mercado, and he will play it on 1 bounce. It's a base hit for Grissom, his 2nd hit of the night. That time was able to square one up and send it into center field. Mercado broke in for it, but couldn't close the gap. Played it on one bounce. Probably better to be tentative on a ball like that with an 8-run lead than lay out, have it get by you. And so the Stripers have 2 on with 1 out. Here is Braden Shoemake, who has walked, grounded out, and struck out. Facing the righty Whitley, swinging a foul over the top of the screen behind the plate. It's 0-1. Matthew Liberator's night was quality. 7 innings, 2 runs, both earned on 3 hits, 3 walks, 10 strikeouts tonight. Here's the 0-1. Sinking inside on Shoemake, 1-1. So Liberator coming off an excellent spring with the Cardinals is on his way to a 3-0 record if his bullpen can hold an 8-run lead. 1-1 is poked foul back behind the plate. It's 1-2. Stripers the first team to hand him some earned runs this year. He came in with a 0 ERA through 2 starts. But even after the 2 runs tonight, his ERA at 1.06. And now it's Whitley in a bit of a jam. Foul back by Shoemake again. It stays 1-2. Struck out Dean, did Whitley, but then walked Wall and gave up that single to center by Grissom. Now it's time for Shoemake to keep the line moving. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Runners off of first and second. Glove at the side of Whitley. Looks down to second. And the 1-2 is hammered down the left field line, but this is going to be foul. And is up towards the concourse, out towards the pool area of the field house. And it holds at a ball and 2 strikes for Shoemake. 2-tone bat resting on the back shoulder as he waits on the 1-2. And he'll pop it straight up, back behind the plate. Surveying is Herrera, but another one on the roof. I feel like if we didn't have a roof in this press box, there'd be a couple bouncing around in this booth right now. 1-2 the count on Shoemake. Wall off the bag at second. Grissom off of first. The pitch is inside, 2-2. Again, a long road ahead to try and get back into this game, but you got to get some confidence back on your side. Here's the 2-2. In the air, center field. Going back, Mercado. Still back. Reaching up. He'll make the catch. Tagging from second to third is Wall, and they're at the quarters with 2 outs. And that is the deepest drive off the bat of Shoemake maybe since his opening night homer. It took Mercado all the way back to the track, but the ballpark held it in. And that'll bring up Yolmer Sanchez. So here is Sanchez for the 4th plate appearance tonight. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. Or excuse me, my apologies. He is 1 for 3 tonight. And let me try that one more time. 1 for 2 with a sac fly. Eventually I will get it right. And he takes strike 1, 0-1 the count. So a double and an RBI for Yolmer. Raises the hands up, fastball in, and the count 1 ball, 1 strike. From Cody Whitley, his first inning of relief. 28-year-old from Clayton, North Carolina. 1-1 is rolled first base side foul, just on by first base coach Stevie Wilkerson. And a ball and 2 strikes the count to Yolmer Sanchez. We're in the bottom of the 8th. Stripers down 10-2 to Memphis. Big lead at third for Wall, itching to come home. And it's lifted towards the line and left. This might have a chance to drop. A trio after it. Diving attempt by Robertson, can't get there. 1 run is in. Into third goes Grissom. Into second with another RBI double, Yolmer Sanchez. Hit it where they're not. That's what he was able to do there. Popped it up. But amidst the triangle of Gomez, Wynn, and Robertson the closest, his hat flying off as he made a dive for it and could not make that catch. Falls in, and the Stripers have cut it to a 7-run deficit on the RBI by Sanchez. So he's got 2 doubles tonight. First Stripers player with a multi-double game this year. And now here's Joshua Fuentes. Here's the first pitch to Fuentes. Knee-high strike, 0-1. I've seen some crazy developments in AAA ball games, enough to know that no game is truly over until you get that final out. This game's still certainly within reach for the Stripers. Fouled off to the right by Fuentes. But again, down by 7 in the 8th. Got to have a lot of stuff go right for you to get back into the contest. At the least, though, you can get some players like Fuentes getting some good swings on the baseball and hopefully making some strides for tomorrow. Here's a line drive right at Mercado in center. He'll backpedal and make the catch. That ball was scalded to center by Fuentes, but it's hung on to by Mercado, and the inning is over. RBI double for Yolmer Sanchez, but 2 left stranded here in the 8th. Wednesday night baseball at Coolray Field has moved on to the top of the 9th. And it's Roel Ramirez now with a bump for Gwinnett, with the Stripers trailing Memphis 10-3. First pitch from Ramirez tumbles in for a called strike on Lucan Baker. Baker 1 for 4 with a double and a run scored. Ramirez, the 4th Gwinnett pitcher tonight. Get you some updated numbers on him. Here's the 0-1. And he misses high and outside, ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. A now clean-shaven Roel Ramirez. Trying to change things up. Here's the 1-1. Swinging a ground ball to third. Diving stop by Culberson. Slings it across to first for the out. What a play by Charlie Clutch. Diving at third. He's done that a few times in the show. Now he showed it off in AAA. Retires Lucan Baker on the smash to third. Laying out, dirtying up that Stripers jersey. And our target with the throw across. He can still do that. And so 1 gone in the 9th for Roel Ramirez. Now facing Oscar Mercado and popping the mitt with a first pitch strike. Ramirez, as his photo on his webpage shows, used to have the goatee going, but no longer. And with an ERA at 12 over his first 3 outings, again, probably just trying to shake something up. 4 runs on 5 hits over 3 innings, couple of walks, 3 strikeouts. For a pitcher the Stripers leaned on quite a bit down the stretch of last year. Swinging a foul tip right at home plate, the count 0-2. He had a 4.91 ERA in 21 appearances after getting signed out of the Mexican League. Those numbers really don't completely do his stint here justice from a year ago. No balls, 2 strikes, the pitch. Grounded up the middle, right at Shoemake. He'll back up nearly to the grass. Throws to first for the out, 2 away. Clean handle there from Shoemake at second. 2 gone in the 9th, and that'll bring up Uniel Caracudo. And it will be a mini victory in this one if they can retire Caracudo one of these times. He's walked twice, he's got 2 singles. 2 RBIs, a steal, and a run scored. Lean back in his left-handed stance. Pitch from Ramirez. Swinging a foul tip that caught a piece of the catcher Hudson. It is 0-1. Stripers in the bottom of the 9th inning. We'll have Charlie Culberson, Magneri Sierra, and Joe Hudson coming up. And it appears that it will be against a different relief pitcher for the Redbirds. Here's the 0-1. Fouled back to the screen, 0-2 the count. As Ramirez eyes up would be just the second 1-2-3 inning of the night. Connor Johnstone had one in the 6th inning. And we have time called by Caracudo. Back in now behind 0-2. Ramirez, the former Redbird, sends it home. And down and in for a count of a ball and 2 strikes. Ramirez pitched for Memphis back in 2021. And was also with Memphis in 2019. Ahead, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Just missing inside. Ramirez took a little walk towards his dugout, thinking he had strike 3. And no such call coming from Ben Sontag. So it's 2-2, 2 outs, bases empty. We're in the top of the 9th. Set is Ramirez the pitch. And that will be ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The full count pitch. Foul down the first baseline, down by the tarp. Nice play by the attendant just past the tarp, playing a tough hop. Keep that ball in front. Can't let that get by. Adds a couple of minutes to a ball game. Trying to chase it down in the corner. So it's 3-2. Ramirez sporting the high socks. Sends home the payoff, and it's inside for ball 4. So no such luck on a 1-2-3 inning unless you can pick off Caracudo here. And Chase Pinder will have another chance to register a hit tonight. He's 0 for 4 out of the 9 spot. Pinder takes outside ball 1. Pitch arsenal on Roel Ramirez. His fastball, slider, curveball. Slider in the upper 80s, curveball in the upper 70s. As Pinder fights one to the backstop screen, 1 ball, 1 strike. Not being held on at first is Caracudo. And the 1-1 is helmet high, 2 balls, 1 strike. In a game like this, what you don't want to have to do is use any more of your pitching. So Ramirez should have a pretty long leash to get through this 9th. And save some arms for game 3 tomorrow. 2 balls, 1 strike on Pinder. The pitch is across for a strike. Over the heart of the plate, 2-2. Nolan Kingham scheduled to start tomorrow. And Kingham typically 3 to 4 innings when he makes a spot start. Here's the 2-2. It's fouled straight down right in the batter's box. It remains 2-2, so you've got to have some arms that can bridge the rest of the way. And for that matter, no striper starter is really truly stretched out to full capacity. This is only the 10th game of the season. 2-2 is skied to the line and right. In pursuit and running out of room is Magneri Sierra. That's into and out of the seats. And remains a 2-2 count for Chase Pinder. Ten runs, 13 hits, no errors for Memphis tonight. 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Stripers. They do have a couple of doubles from Yolmer Sanchez and a solo homer from Joe Hudson tonight, but not enough to match the consistent output of the Redbirds. 2-2, fouled back. We will do it again. Kramer Robertson in the on-deck circle, not quite sure where that ball was going to land. He's hoping to have one more at bat tonight. And it's Pinder back in with a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Pitch number 21 is just about on its way from Roel. Here it is. And it's grounded to first, diving attempt by Fuentes off his glove into right. Headed first to third is Caracudo. They're not going to back off one bit tonight. So Caracudo gets first to third on a 2-out single by Chase Pinder. Almost called him Chad Pinder, that's his brother. So Chase has a base hit. He had not had a hit until that one. Their lineup's got a pretty much 1 through 9 all have hits now. And that is not the case yet. The only one without a hit is standing at home plate. That's Kramer Robertson, but he has walked and scored a run. So 2 through 9 of all had base hits. Mason Wynn has the hot hand. He's 3 for 5 with a homer and 2 RBIs. Only Robertson held off the hit sheet to this point. 1-0. Look out. He has to lean out of the way of a high and tight offering. 2 balls, no strikes. Closing in on 10 o'clock here on a game that started at 7:05. (2-0), and he floats that outside. They look pretty close. Not getting the benefit of the doubt. 3-0. First and third, 2 outs. Roel Ramirez trying to put a 0 on the board. And he's just walked Robertson to load him up for Mason Wynn. I wouldn't be surprised to see a mound visit here for Roel Ramirez, if nothing more than just to calm the nerves a bit. Again, within the context of the ball game, there's one thing. You're trying not to give up any more runs to make the score any more lopsided. But on a more personal note, again, Roel's trying to get settled in after some rough early outings this year. And Craig Bjornson's going to pay him a visit. And really, he's coming off one single rough outing. First 2 times he was out of the bullpen. Scoreless innings against Jacksonville and at Norfolk, but last time he threw was April the 8th. And Roel was tagged for 4 runs on 5 hits over an inning. Walked 1, didn't strike out anybody. So he's trying to get his confidence back after that outing. Just a quick chat that time. Bjornson back to the dugout, wearing that cage jacket as he always does. You'll never see him put on the jersey. And here is Mason Wynn. He's had a big night. Like I said, 3 hits, including a home run. And the first pitch, down and away, ball 1. Robertson at first. Pinder at second. Karakudo with third. 2 outs. 9th inning. 1-0. Swing and a miss. Kicked that back foot out. Took a rip. And only caught air. 1 ball, 1 strike. Single homer, and since then a pop-up and a strikeout for Wynn. And he takes right down the pipe for a strike. 1-2. Ramirez kicking at the dirt on the front of that pitching rubber, looking for the put-away pitch on Mason Wynn. Cardinals' number 2 prospect standing in there. And the 1-2. Grounded out to short, tapping his glove, fielding and making the short throw is Grissom. Shoemake's on the bag. The inning is over. It's a scoreless 9th as Ramirez leaves the bases loaded. And so we go to the bottom of the 9th. Will we see a magic come from behind run tonight? Stripers need 7 to tie it. 8 to take the lead as they trail Memphis 10-3 here on MyCountry99.3.com. Last chance for the Stripers on this Wednesday evening will be Charlie Culberson, Magneri Sierra, and Joe Hudson. They've all got a reach and plenty more as Gwinnett trails the Memphis Redbirds 10-3. New pitcher on the hill is Grant Black, and his first pitch is a called strike. Charlie Culberson made a great diving play at third base an inning ago. Offensively 0 for 3 with a fly out, tapper back to the mound, and strikeout. He'll take strike 2. It's 0-2. From a 28-year-old Grant Black, 6'5", 225 from Newport, Arkansas. And he drops the arm angle down and misses with a slider in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Black, a holdover from last year's ball club, had 23 appearances, including 5 starts for the Redbirds, 2-2 with a 4.17 ERA. And here this year, 1 scoreless outing so far. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Culberson retired, 1 down in the 9th. 2 scoreless innings for Black coming in. 1 hit, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. This is, without needing to tell you, not a save situation. 7-run lead. So here is Magneri Sierra. And an inner third fastball for strike one. 0-1 the count. Sierra's 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts and a ground ball to second. The high kick and the pitch from Black. That rattles around between the legs of the catcher, Ivan Herrera. And rolls to the warning track. 1 ball, 1 strike. They do play Sierra shaded to the right side of the infield. Way off the line of third is Robertson, the 1-1. Swing and a miss. He's had some aggressive cuts at the baseball in the early going this year. Not going to get cheated on the swing. 1 ball, 2 strikes to the count for Sierra. Base is empty, 1 gone in the 9th. Sent on its way by Black. Framed up but inside. By the end of this month of April, pitch framing will be a non-needed skill set with ABS in effect. Here's the 2-2. That bends inside, the count full. Not to say the catchers won't still try to do it, but the ABS system doesn't lie. Might see it a little bit more in the ABS challenge game. Swinging a foul tip. That caught Herrera right in the mask, and he goes into a seated position. He got his bell rung. Yeah, right now checking his mouth to make sure all his teeth are still in there. Supposed to have 28, I believe. Trainer's going to come out to give him a pat on the back, take a look. And yeah, he'll be able to guarantee he's sticking around for the rest of this one. So a full count to Sierra. Black straight up and down stance on the hill. Check swing, it's high, ball 4. Stripers have a base runner in the 9th. And that'll bring up Joe Hudson way back in this ball game, back in the 2nd. Hudson going yard to the concourse space just under the fieldhouse porch for his first Stripers homer. It tied the game at 2. It was really the last time the Stripers were in a tight ball game. And he takes on the corner for a strike, 0-1. But one of the highlights for Gwinnett tonight, their first homer since April the 4th in Norfolk. From a player that's no longer on the ball club, Eli White, is now on the Braves bench. And a bouncing ball, tough hop, eats up Robertson, lands in shallow left. First to third goes Sierra, taking the turn at first with a single. Joe Hudson rifled that ball right. And Robertson had that do-or-die hop where you just sort of stick out the glove and hope that the ball lands in the pocket. Instead, it ramped right up off that glove and landed in left. So Hudson's got a multi-hit game. He's also walked once. On-base percentage continues to rise, and it's 1st and 3rd with 1 out for Justin Dean. Dean looking for his first hit. Swing and a miss, strike 1, and defensive indifference will put Hudson at second base. They were not holding him on. There was no attempt to cover the bag. And so we'll put up DI, defensive indifference. So now 2 in scoring position for Dean. Swinging a foul back to the screen, and the Stripers down, or rather, Dean's down to his last strike. Stripers still have a man waiting on deck in Forrest Wall. And Dean steps out momentarily, now back in. No balls, 2 strikes to count. Sierra at 3rd, Hudson at 2nd. Black's pitch. Lays off the slider outside, the count 1 ball, 2 strikes. One, 2. Just wide to the outside corner that time. It was right to the target of Herrera. And yet Dean survives. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Black's pitch, check swing. Did he go upon appeal to first? No, it's a full count. First base open. Again, it's Forrest Wall waiting next. Full count to Dean. The pitch. Fouled off to the right side. We're definitely crossing 10 p.m. tonight. In the pitch clock era, not too often do you see 3-hour, 9-inning games, but it can and will happen throughout the year, and this one looks like might be headed that way. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Dean. Here it is again. And it's ball 4. Stripers have loaded the bases with 1 out in the 9th inning. And if Wall was able to do something here, like drop one in a gap or send one over the fence, all of a sudden, a game that currently seems relatively out of reach tightens up. Stripers trail by 7, 10-3, but again, bases loaded with 1 out. And the first pitch rides outside to Wall for ball 1. He has walked twice in this game. 0 for 2 with a pop-up to third base and a double play ground out. Wall waving the bat over the helmet. 1-0. Swinging a high fly ball deep to right. Going back, Pinder looking up, it is gone! Start your trot, Forrest Wall. A 9th inning grand slam. Stripers' first slam of the year, and suddenly they are back in it in the 9th. Never know what you're going to see in a AAA ball game. Grant Black low to the bases. Wall just cleared him. Was able to bring the hands in, get the barrel around on it, and up onto the grass in right field. First homer as a Striper for Forrest Wall. And all of a sudden, the Stripers trail by just 3. First grand slam since Ryan Castile did it in September of last year. So all of a sudden, the Stripers have life and some confidence back. They need more base runners. Here's Vaughn Grissom, 1-0 to him. Down and away from Black. They might think about warming up another arm of that pen at this rate. He'll swing the leg and deal. Grissom fouls it over towards the on-deck circle to count 2-1. Now you're looking for Grissom to work his way aboard. Then you've got Braden Shoemake. And the tying run is the man in the hole. That is Yolmer Sanchez. 2-1. Outside, 3-1. Things tightening up here for Black and company. 3-1 pitch and a smash foul just wide of the first base line. The old Vaughn Grissom special, a hard hit ball to the right side. Wasn't expecting that from Grissom so often coming into this season, but he's done that a lot this year, but couldn't keep that one fair. So a full count. Pitch to Vaughn. Ball 4. That one was just over the zone. And a wild 9th inning continues for the Stripers. They will bring up Braden Shoemake here. And the tying run walks into the on-deck circle. Who would have thought this about 10 minutes ago? And they're going to have to go talk to Black here. They're in a very similar situation. They don't want to burn any more arms tonight. You figure with a 7-run lead in the 9th inning, 3 outs and pack it up and go back to the hotel, but not the case. As after Black struck out Charlie Culberson, a walk to Magneri Sierra, the single from Joe Hudson, the walk to Justin Dean, the slam by Forrest Wall, and then the walk to Vaughn Grissom. And now a stern talking to Grant Black here. Or maybe just a confidence-building chat. Whatever it is, it's over now. And Braden Shoemake will climb in from the left side. Shoemake hitless on the night. He's walked once, 0 for 3. Black to the plate, swing and a miss. And again, the important thing here for Shoemake, a reminder that he is not the tying run at the plate, so he has got to find a way aboard more than anything. Here's the 0-1, outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. And facing off against a pitcher in Black who's walked 3 in this inning. Make him throw you some strikes. It is 1-1. Away from first, Grissom. The pitch inside at his feet. He's chased out of the box. And it is 2-1. Black has not shown since that strikeout of Culberson any ability to land strikes here. 2-1. Lifted on a line to left, but able to chase it down is Moises Gomez. Back to first goes Vaughn Grissom. That's a hard hit ball the opposite way by Shoemake, but it ends up caught by Gomez on the rounded off route. And so the Stripers are down to the last man standing. It's Yomer Sanchez. Tying run is now in the on-deck circle in the form of Joshua Fuentes. And Sanchez, a couple of doubles tonight in an RBI. First pitch fouled back to the screen. Saw something he liked right away and fouled it back. It's 0-1. There is action starting in the bullpen for the Redbirds in case things get out of hand any further. Black the high set and the 0-1. Strike called. It's 0-2. And so the Stripers down to their last strike on this, what has turned out to be a wild Wednesday night. Trailing 10-7 now. Runner at first, 2 gone. Black's 0-2. Hammered to right, but this should be playable for Pinder. He'll make the over-the-head catch, and that ends the ball game. Stripers put some good swings on the baseball in the ninth, including the grand slam by Forrest Wall to make a game of it. That's some confidence headed into Game 3 tomorrow for a team that badly needs it. However, it doesn't add up to a win. And the losing streak has extended to 6 tonight as Memphis built that big early lead and rode it out to a 10-7 victory. They're the high 5 line. Redbirds get to 6-5 on the year while the Stripers fall to 2-8. But again, homers from Hudson and Wall tonight. Some signs of life certainly from this offense and something to build on for tomorrow. We'll step out. Back next with the Salto Systems post-game show. Again, your final score from Coolray Field, Memphis 10, Stripers 7 here on MyCountry99.3.com.